everybody, and welcome along to the 12th round of the GPVWC Formula Challenge Championship. It's Spa week here at GPVWC, and we are going to be having Super Cup, Super League and Formula Challenge, as we've already had Open Series from the fantastic circuit to Spa Francorchamps. It is surely a favourite with most of the drivers here, and it's set to provide 11 laps times 2 of fantastic racing. Slight change in the comments booth today. We don't have a Lewis McGlade, unfortunately, but I'm here as usual. I'm Josh Anderson, taking up lead commentary duties for tonight. And I'm joined in the comments booth by none other than Mr. Chuck It Down the Inside himself, Mr. Thomas Hinss.
Thank you for the introduction, Josh. Haven't done that in a while, though. We're doing it chuck it around the outside instead, which is a bit of a switch around. But anyway, enough about that. Yeah, it's going to be interesting tonight. Obviously, Spa, very difficult track. Always throws up some interesting racing. And already some interesting times in qualifying, so we'll, yeah, and 28 cars as well, which is really great to see, really great numbers for this round, which is fantastic to see for Formula Challenge. So, yeah, I think we've got a really nice couple of races ahead tonight, so we'll see how we go, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, good to hear, Thomas, and of course, we have Mr. Menno Klont on cameras today as well. Hello, Menno.
Hello.
Yep, Menno doing cameras as he does brilliantly these days. Now I've taught him how to. And we've got about just under 4 minutes left to go in this qualifying session. It's James Johnson on pole for Mad Cape Racing Team in P1 as it stands, hoping to make it pole position. But he has not got that much to Stefan Ruolt, who's in P2. 0.04 of a second just under. Separate the Dutchman from the Englishman in this battle for pole position. Ruolt's actually going to come across the line to take pole position, actually. He's just gone 3/10 quicker than Johnson on a 2:03.611 for the Dutchman. So, set to take pole position here by the looks of it, if Johnson does not improve, but there's quite a bit of qualifying session left to go.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, we've got 3 minutes to go, and of course, the last, as late as you can get, really, is the key when it comes to qualifying. So, trying to be that last guy around the track, that's what you want to be, to get the best grip you can on the track, of course, with the dynamic grip that R-Factor offers. I think Mike Quit there just goes into second spot for Brasilia, which is good to see, with the updated skin too, I believe. Been slightly updated for this round, so that's good stuff there. So yeah, looking pretty good so far. A couple of back of the grids as well, which I'll let you explain, Josh, but yeah, looking pretty good so far. Pretty tight, really, considering that this is Spa and a lap is over 2 minutes long in these cars. Pretty close times throughout the field, which is going to promote some really close racing.
It is, yes. We've got a couple of back of the grids to talk about, as you mentioned. We have the current penalties to serve. I'm just trying to find the list here, actually. I don't think there is one, unfortunately. A list of people. Actually, there is on the competitor, the actual page for the calendar, so to speak. There is actually a list of penalties to be served, and I can read those out to you now. There is one for Matik Malek. He has a back of the grid demotion. Edward Batala has a back of the grid demotion. Jeffrey Fournier has a 5-slot grid demotion. Sam Jones has a 5-slot, as does Tom Cabrera. Sam Jones actually has 2 5-slots. Gerrit de Vries has one, and Michel de Jong, Hans-Go Mevius, Martin Rikberg, Patrick Vandermoller. But some of these drivers not racing anymore, of course. Championship standings coming into this round. As it stands, we have James Johnson leading the championship, 82 points ahead of Stefan Ruolt in second place. Johnson on 383 to Ruolt's 301. Jonathan Holmes third with 227, and Terence Gregg fourth with 175. Carlos Fernandez fifth with 169. Jeffrey Fournier sixth on 160. Then a further 15 points back in Matthew Churgren. Then it's Cameron Bruce on 124. Johan Lindberg on 114, and rounding up the top 10, Randall Muru on 112 points. So quite a lot between Johnson and Ruolt, and Stefan has really got to start putting the hammer down before the season break, or after the season break, if he wants to try and take the championship title. We've just got over a minute to go and qualify now.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, well, I mean, Jojo has just been so consistent and so fast in these cars. I mean, it seems to me like, well, as those who know the community, especially the ones who know the field and FC this year, will probably know that JJ is one of the only guys who seems to like this car at the moment. Most people in the league. So it seems to me that if you can actually figure this car out, despite how difficult it is, if you can figure it out, it's actually quite fast and quite enjoyable to drive. I think I did 1 or 2 rounds in this car as I just watched Randy Muru spin there through towards the corner with no name. I did do a round or 2, I think. I think it was a round at Turkey with this car for B&B, and even though I don't think I quite got the car perfectly set up, I did at least get a sort of decent setup, and it wasn't actually too bad to drive. So, but it is a weird feeling, very weird feeling. It's a bit loose. It feels like you're not really feeling too much. Like you feel the bumps, but you don't really feel like you're feeling the car as much. It's a weird kind of feeling that you get with these cars. But if you can figure out the kinks with it and get the car nice and stable, then it can be a really fun car to drive. You can be really quick as well, which is why JJ's been running away with it so far this season.
Indeed, time has now expired in the qualifying session. Those not on a lap will not be able to do one. James Johnson has aborted his lap. He will not take any further part in this session. Mike Quint is in P3 and possibly the closest to taking a lap time, but he is in 6th gear at the moment and not shifting, so he's probably not going to set a competitive time. Jeffrey Fournier, P5, probably our best chance at the pole position taker, but he's got to get a whole second almost on Johnson to do it. As he comes from Blanchimont now, coming out the bus stop chicane, wants to get this a good time, at least jump a couple of people. Will come down into the bus stop now, goes right, loses it a bit, but catches it. Great job to catch it from Jeffrey. Through the final corner, hammer down. What is the time going to be from the Frenchman? It's not even an improvement, unfortunately. He doesn't go any higher. Terence Grech is probably still on a lap somewhere as well, I think. Rock Hutchinson, Jonathan Holmes, Johan Lindberg, Maciek Malenek has finished his lap. He will probably be P13 provisionally. But a few people like to do laps. Quinn has pulled off. Grech's probably the closest then.
Yeah, indeed. Looks like Grech is the one that we have to watch. Hutchinson's also coming down the last sector as well, so he's probably one to watch to potentially improve his time. As Hansco just rejoining there, but yeah, interesting stuff going on here. As nope, Hutchinson pulls in, so he's done. So Terence is the next highest place driver. Let's see, Lindberg's coming through now. He's 12th currently, 1.2 off the lead. As he comes out of the final corner now, is he going to improve? He does. Goes to 5th spot. Nice stuff from Johan there. There's some very nice pace indeed. Quick shout out, by the way, as I think we've got a... Oh no, John Holmes is coming through. Oh, okay, he was coming through the chicane until he locked it up, so he's done. He's going to do some doughies. Good stuff, Jono. But yeah, I was going to say, shout out to Jonathan Holmes, by the way. 11th spot. We know he can be quick when he's on point and when he has the car set up, and it looks like here at Spa he's got it set up quite nicely.
Yeah, Terence Grech has gone quite slow into the bus stop. This is him cancelling his lap, I think. I think the only one left on a lap, no one is left on a lap. James Johnson has secured pole position therefore, and that will be a huge advantage here at Spa Race 1. So Johnson, pole from Rualt, Quint, Muru, Lindberg, Fournier, Grech, Batala, Hutchinson, Kumar. So both S-Devs in the top 10 to start Race 1.
Indeed, yeah, both. Think Batala, did he have a penalty? I think he may possibly have a back of the grid, maybe. Not entirely sure, but if he does, then that is going to cancel that.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think Batala does have a Batala does have a back of the grid, so Holmes will go through into P10. Yep. Therefore.
Indeed, yeah, and it'll be interesting as well because obviously Mlanek also has a back of the grid for a extension at Hungary, or track extension, sorry, at Hungary. So he's going to be at the back, and he qualified 13th. And I'm fairly sure, looking at his practice pace, he's actually got even more pace than that. I reckon he may even have pace to possibly be in the top 5 on pace. So we're going to have a Mlanek coming through the field at speed in race 1, which is going to be interesting. On the other end, for the Hinss Motorsport stable, Mantis there, down in 21st, 1.9 seconds off the pace. Stark contrast from Hungary, where he was pretty comfortably in the top 10 pace-wise, whereas here at Spa, just cars not under him, it would seem. So we'll see. Maybe it was just a bit of the qualifying jitters that set in, but looking like it could be a bit of a long day at the office for Mantis here.
Yeah, indeed. So just going into warm-up now. Just going to run through the fields and see if there's any new faces of note. Obviously, I know there's one, but let's look through the fields here. We have, looking at who's where. Mantas Pomelitis is relatively new. Obviously, Hinss Motorsport as a team is relatively new, but Mantas impressed a lot last race, so he will be looking to do the same again. And we've got the likes of... It's mostly the same, but we do have a returning Roy Vajayel for Cosmo Motorsport. He, I believe, well, I know because I'm his team boss. This is very much Roy joining for the full remaining rest of the season. This isn't a one-off do. He replaces Philip Conning at the team. So Roy's back in for a challenge.
Yeah, indeed. I was going to say, I saw his name there and I was like, there's a name I haven't seen for quite a while. So it's good to see Roy back in it. His pace didn't seem too bad. He was 15th there in the midfield for that qualifying session, which is good to see. So at least he's competitive for points from the look of that pace. So good stuff. As I mentioned before, a shout out to the grid. 28 cars. Very nice to see the numbers nice and high. For the first time, I think it's the first time I've seen 28 cars in FC for quite some time. So it's good to see the numbers nice and high here as we get into the sort of middle phase of the season. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Got some good potential guys pace-wise. As I said, I'm sort of a little bit chuffed to see Jono Holmes up there and just edging on the edge of the top 10 because he's had some bad rounds. I think Hungary even he qualified quite lowly and didn't really have that good pace. But we know when he gets that car right, he can be super fast. So I've been kind of wanting to, I've been sort of vaguely cheering for him a little bit in the background to pick up some of that pace we know he has. And it looks like he has here at Spa, which is really nice to see. But yeah, looking like it should be very interesting. Of note, I think, will be that battle for the back end of the 10 because there's a lot of guys in qualifying there who were really close, about a second to a second and a half off the pole lap. So my word from the not-so-wise, I would assume, is what's that battle at the back end of the 10?
Yeah, could be one to watch throughout this race. And Bobby Challenge has a bit of a knack of providing some interesting racing at times, but it can be absolutely fantastic. It's sort of the middle ground between we all know Super Cup, not to plug World of the Series, but Super Cup has been known to create some of the best racing. But Formula Challenge is good too, and it has provided a lot of opportunities for people to go up to the Super Cup in the past as well. So this is very much the starting point for people's GPV careers, but also a place to prove yourself with to go up to the next level.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's Super Cup has been certainly probably the closest racing this year at GPV, I would say. I'd go that far. Not because I race in it, no way at all. More just because it's so, as we see in the qualifying sessions, you get a second between like the top 15. It's ridiculous how competitive it is in Super Cup this year. So it's probably definitely the most competitive in Super Cup in terms of pace, but as you say, Formula Challenge, great stepping stone to get into Super Cup and provides some great close racing of its own. And certainly with this year's cars, as has been mentioned, bit interesting to drive, which has created some interesting dynamics for FC this year. But no, very good category of racing, very good way to feed in new drivers into the higher ranks. And yeah, looking like I'm quite keen for this one. Spa is a track that I am very fond of, as I'm sure most of everybody is, really, let's be honest, is Spa. But yeah, looking forward to this one, and totally not going to be biased, and totally not cheering for my team. Hashtag really bad liar.
Well, who could blame me? I wouldn't blame me for wanting to. If it were me, I wouldn't want to cheer for my team, of course. But you've got to try and put that aside as a commentator sometimes, and just commentate on what is actually happening, because otherwise we'd be looking at 4 cars for the whole race, and where's the fun in that?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, exactly.
But...
Oh, sorry, Josh.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. Listening to you talk is a brilliant thing. It's good to have you with me. It really is. I can't remember the last time we did commentary, but nonetheless, you are here with us. We're just ticking down the seconds in warm up, and people will be getting ready, doing practice starts, running on race fuel. As these are the sort of things you do in warm up, which is make sure the car's ready to go for the race, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, it is good to be back in, by the way. Been a while. It's good to be back in. I hope you guys who are watching, forgetting English briefly, but never mind. Hope you guys are watching. Happy to see me back in GPV here for
I'm sure
this
everyone's
one.
happy to see you back.
We
all love a bit of Hinnsy.
Yeah, so it's good to be back in though. Thought I'd get back in the box for this one. Seems I couldn't sleep anyway, so may as well do something productive with tonight. But yeah, no, definitely with warm-up generally is the time to just do practice starts, stuff like that. For me, I don't even know what I do with warm-up. I generally just do laps for me anyway, but that's just because I'm not pro at all. So I just run around and do laps rather than actually doing practice starts and stuff. But yeah, no, generally for practice starts and just sort of getting in those last practice laps, maybe do a few runs on race fuel, check you got your fuel numbers right is what I like to do. Make sure I've got the the lap counter right on how much fuel to use for the race. But yeah, should be fascinating. I'm actually very interested to see how this will go. See if JJ can continue the sort of domination that he's been doing this season.
I'm notorious for basically not doing anything in warm-up. So there you go, that's what I do more, but I just make sure the car's set up right, and that's about it. But everyone else will be doing that now, because we're about to go to the race. Chris Billington just wishing everyone the best of luck, telling them what to do, what not to do. Please be careful out there, especially through Eau Rouge in turn 1. That was a bit of a problem in the Open Series race before. We had a bit of an incident in turn 1. Hopefully we won't see that here, because, well, Formula Challenge, well, it should be a clean race, as should any race, but, you know, I guess the Open Series guys, some people not necessarily as experienced as others in this field, so maybe they could be excused a bit for that, but we would like to see clean racing in any series here at GPV, of course, but, you know, let's hope nothing bad happens. Just running through the couple of usual things, don't talk until all drivers finish the race, etc, etc. Just the usual sort of spiel that he gives the drivers and advice, wishing them the best of luck, because we're about to go racing very soon. Haven't got my timing right once again, but I'm just going to keep talking until we do start the race so I can actually get it right this time. I never get the timing right. I always go too early and have to do some sort of filler until the actual race starts. And here we go, now it's racing time.
There we go.
That time it worked. I actually managed to speak long enough to fill the gap until the race starts. So, 11 laps of Francorchamps about to get underway here at GPVWC in the Formula Challenge series. And I reckon this is going to be a good one. Spa throws up interesting racing. And, well, let's just see if it does this time. It's the usual. It's a long track. It's difficult. It's tricky. It's not easy. And it's going to test the driver's skills to the extreme. So, away we go here at Spa-Francorchamps, and James Johnson for Mad Cape Racing Team will lead us away on the start of the longest circuit lap in the calendar, I believe. He's directly followed by Stefan Rural, his nearest championship rival, in P2 for Deltec. Then it's Mike Quint, third for Scuderia Basilea. Rando Muru, fourth for Eval Racing Team. That's a great qualifying for Rando, actually. Didn't notice that before. He will want to make the most of that to get a great result for the Estonian team. Fifth is Johan Lindberg for YTF1, has had race 1 wins before, will want to be in contention for one here at Spa. Terence Grant will start P6 for Zederick Racing. Fantastic little qualifying for Terence, also a race winner. P7, Mark Hutchinson for Tifa Motorsports. Wants to be in with a good shout as well. Niranjan Kumar, P8. We know he has the pace, Niranjan, to do well, but it's whether he can be consistent enough. Hopefully, he will be here at Spa. Ninth is Jonathan Holmes for Arrow Racing, Arrow, Team Arrow. I'm just going to call him Team Arrow because I've forgotten the full team title. He's P9. Jeffrey Fournier, P10 for Epic Racing. Then it's Lazarus for Lapicos in the Academy car. Welcome to the full-time Formula Challenge, Lazarus. I say full-time, he's in the Academy car. P11, fun fact about Lazarus, I think he uses a joystick or a keyboard because his steering inputs are very sudden. Yet he's quite up there with the top guys, so watch him. Cameron Brewster starts P12 for Drake Racing. Then it's the due to our Factor 2, Roy Vizile for Cosmo Motorsport in P13. Could be a star in the making if he can keep it consistent enough. And then P14's Michael Bernard and the other Deltec, and Rob Mason, P15 for Epic Racing. David Yunt, 16 for Scuderia Basilea. Then it's Mantas Povalitis for Hinss Motorsport in P17. Then Matthew Turgwin, 18th for Drake Racing also. Row 10 consists of Bruno Sousa Ferreira in 19th and Ben Willis in 20th place. Tommy Cabrera will start 21st for Cosmo Motorsport. Then it's Brett Metcalf all the way up in 22nd for Backmarker Brigade, And 23rd is Sam Jones for not Backmarker Brigade. It says BM Boys on the back of that rare rig, but he's for Arrow International. And then it's 24th is Ed Robert 25th is Particular Net, 26th Michel de Jong, 27th Gerrit de Vries, and rounding out the field, Hans Goldmebius for YTF1. So all things said and done then, Hinsey, who's your pick for the win?
Oh boy, I think, well, I tried to make it sound dramatic there, and then I realised the way we're in Formula Challenge in 2016, so it's not probably rocket science, but it's going to be between James Johnson and Stefan Rolt for sure. They're going to be the two to watch. If they get themselves tangled up, we might get a sort of surprise winner, maybe Lindbergh or Muru. But I think those two are the pick for this one, as sort of is the case this season throughout race 1.
Yeah, the smart one would be on either Johnson or Rural. I'm going to go for Rural myself because I love a bit of Stefan. And we are just going to start things off here in Francorchamps then. We have 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights for the 12th time of asking this season. We are off and away. It looks like a very good start from James Johnson. Mike Quinn gets almost left for dead at the start there. He's been hounded by almost everyone coming into turn 1, but he's managed to hold them off as Quint. And, well, he had a lot of pressure, didn't get the best start, but he's managed to do it well. There's got a bit of a slide on at the back somewhere. Someone's had a bit of a do, but here we're coming to more Rouge. This is going to be the big test here. Johnson, followed by Ruolt, Quinn, and the rest of the field. All going well, and, well, Johan Lindberg's got a solid enough start. Hold P6, Terence Gregg.
Oh, big crash,
Monty's
big crash.
getting a bit of a do there, as we've got Muru and
Big
Lindberg
crash.
fighting out. As, oh, look at this for the lead. Ruolt and Johnson. Both of them going out of Quince behind as well. James Johnson grabs the inside. Not happening for Stefan yet, but he goes, oh, cuts in the bit. Through goes Ruolt. Through goes Stefan Ruolt's taking charge immediately. Oh, we're going to crash somewhere. What's happened?
Oh, it's Jeffrey Fournier. He's crashed into the chicanes at the end of the
yes,
Camel
he's
Straight.
gone down the order a bit there, is Jeffrey. I'm going to look back and see what's happened, because he was quite far up. Jeffrey Fournier coming through into Lecombe. Oh, he just taps the back of Jonathan Holmes and goes round. That's what's happened there. Unfortunately for the Frenchman, he has not had a good start to this race. But who has? None other than Stefan Ruolt. He's leading affairs so far. James Johnson now under threat from Mike Quint. Not a good start for the Englishman. And Quint, the Dutchman, for the Swiss team, is giving him some serious Swiss food for thought. I'm not sure, well, some serious Swiss fondue even. That's my little food pun for the day. Terence Gregg as well, giving chase to Johan Lindberg, and then Kumar Muru about behind you. And now Kumar has actually made a position. Roy Vazile up to 8.
Isn't that just a wonderful
expect
start?
to see Roy that up so quickly. What a start from the Dutchman indeed. Keep an eye on him as he's now looking to go past Kumar. Vazile, I mean, this could get serious quickly, but just to go really... Oh no, Kumar actually had to stay there because he's having a bit of a look, but it hasn't worked. Yep, and now Vazile's going through. Roy Vazile rounds the bus stop chicane into 7th. What a move from the Dutchman, but it's Ruolt, Johnson, Quint, Lindberg, Gregg round out your top 5. And Roy Vazile's having another go now to defend from Kumar. His next target is Randall Muru, but what a start from the Dutchman. That's all
Yeah, indeed.
Kumar!
No, I'm just
Oh, Jan Kumar has a tie-in with the Dutchman. And that he's flipping all over the place. And what happened there? Let's go through into turn 1.
Wow.
Niranjan was in the inside there, and then
big follow crash.
Roy? No, Roy wasn't turning. He was trying to leave enough room.
It was Roy.
Niranjan, well, that's debatable. You can argue Roy squeezed him. You can argue Niranjan was in the way. That is disappointing, but it's not mine to decide. Roy is out of the race, but he showed pace. But that's one for the disciplinary committee.
Yeah, as there goes Patella. Patella's round as well, so they're having an awful race SDE here as it started so promising, but not so good. So just going to point out Linek, he was involved in one instance, so he's had to pit, so he's way down the order at the back. And Mantis as well, unfortunately. Last corner had a little moment there, something that I think was just something he couldn't avoid. Car ahead of him had a little bit of a moment and he had nowhere to go, so... Not good stuff for those two. Real shame in this first race, but still time to recover.
Oh, and James Johnson's got back down in the lead, actually. He's got back down in the lead of the race. Let's see where that happens. Where has he got past Stefan there? I'm going to have a look at this because we missed that with the drama with Vazile there. Shame about that, of course. Hopefully he'll get it together and come back in the second race a little bit stronger. No, I can't see because it's too far back, unfortunately. But James Johnson is taking the lead of this race from Stefan Ruolt.
Yeah, indeed. Good stuff from JJ, but I mean, not really surprising. It's JJ, so we'll see if that goes on. I suspect there'll be a race-long battle because they will be similarly paced. Kudos to the guys behind, though. They haven't actually dropped the rest of the field as quickly as I thought they would. I kind of figured they'd be... Well, I know it's only been 2 laps, but I kind of figured they'd be further down the road at this point. So kudos to Mike, who's still sort of tagging along in third. So good stuff there. Shout out as well, by the way, to Rob Mason there in 10th, doing a good race for Epic Racing. That's good stuff for them. Timmy Cabrera as well, he's been jumped up quite a lot, same with Matthew Chilbin because of the instance further down. It's actually double points at the moment for Mad Kate because Michel de Jong is actually in 15th in the points. So That's good stuff from our cape. Look at this. Here we go down the Camel Straight. Here's the slipstreaming coming in, and I reckon... Ooh, is he close enough? I don't think he will be.
Well, I've
yeah,
just seen a bit of a close moment there, actually, between Lazarus Philapicus and Tomu Cabrera, P11 and P12. Tomu's all over the back of Lazarus. He's really wants his P11 to go through on the Greek, I believe, on the Greek, and doesn't go through yet. But Tomu has got pace. We know that. We've seen that. But it's whether he can get to the end, because he has had a couple of problems with Lazarus goes off.
Boy.
Loses it in spectacular fashion, almost collects Cabrera, but that is Philapicus out because he's got no wheel.
Wow, that was a big moment. Looks like it just went too deep into the grass, lost it on the grass, and poor old Cabrera had nowhere really to go on that one. So just one of those sort of incidents. But what that has done is to let Matthew Churgwin on the back of Cabrera. So got to say, kudos to the Drag boys, Cameron Brewster and Churgwin, 9th and 12th at the moment. This could be good points for them if they can hold on, but whether they've got the pace to, I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see as this race goes on. As we've seen already, Josh, I mean, this has been a really high attrition to start this race, but I mean, it is Spa, isn't it? I mean, it's known for being absolutely ruthless.
It is Spa. You make a mistake here, and it can cost you. I mean, we've had the mistake with Bajar possibly not leaving enough space. We've had the mistake with Philapicus there. All of this is to be decided after the race. You know, it's not my job to commentate on who killed who, you know. It's not my job to commentate on that. I'm just here to tell you what's actually happening. What's actually happening is we've got to fight for the lead again, because here comes Rualt.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Rualt coming back once again at JJ. I think that gap's actually kind of static at the moment, although it's, close back to 310, so it's about the same as last lap. But he does look a little bit closer. He's got a better run out of the source, I would say, than the last lap around. We'll see how they go through Eau Rouge. But again, kudos to Mike. He's just kind of hanging on the background there in third. So if these two get in a big scuffle, then he's going to be able to pick up the pieces. So kudos to Mike for holding on for the time being. Terrace Grinch isn't too far behind. Here we go, yeah.
Gets a ricochet there, right out of already on, and he's already side by side coming through. I think he's through already, and James Johnson's going to try and get the cut back down the Camel Straight. It's a long straight, has the chance to get the position back. Doesn't take it though. He doesn't quite get it done. But he's right on the back of Rualt, who's taking the lead again.
Yeah, indeed, that was very close, actually. Oh, no, he's gone!
Round goes JJ! Well, it's not often we see James Johnson make a mistake, but when he does make a mistake, it's usually costly. That has cost him. It's cost him so much, Bruce has got past, and he's down in 9th.
Wow, there you go.
That is a prime example of how ruthless Spa is.
Yeah, just simple, looked like to me just a simple lost the rear end through the corner and maybe went a bit too wide.
If ever you needed proof, there is your proof.
Indeed, yeah. So JJ further down, he's in 9th though, so still in the top 10, and there's still plenty of time to fight back, so I'll certainly expect him, I'd say, back in the top 5 by the end of the race. That's where I reckon he'll get to, maybe even more, because it does seem to me that it's kind of JJ, Mike, and then roll to the 3 pacemakers, it would seem, and everybody else is kind of a step below. So we'll see how he goes. He's behind Brewster now. He's all over the back of him. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets by in the pretty near future. Also, shout out to Jono Holmes as well in 6th spot, having a good race for Arrows International there. It's good stuff to see. As I said, he's been a bit inconsistent this season, pace-wise, but it looks like he's got the car really well hooked up here around Spa, so it's good to see him having a good race. Jeffrey Fournier's just retired, by the way, so he's also out. So we've got 4 retirements already in the first 3 laps. So a lot of attrition here in this first race at Spa.
Oh, we got a bit of an overtake potential on. Back at the front, Johan Lindberg versus Terence Gregg. This is a battle for the podium. Now, we all know Johan Lindberg has race-winning potential. He has won so far this season. He would be on for a podium, a 3rd in race 1, if he can get past the Maltese here. But Gregg, as we know, is very talented. That's not going to stop. That's not going to stop Lindberg. No, he's going to keep going. He's going to try, and he's going to try, and he's got through, I think. So it's going to be up to Gregg to get the cut back. Down off the Camel Straight. I don't think he's close enough. I don't think he is close enough. He isn't. He's got to yield. Johan Lindberg 3rd, and that is why you hashtag don't mess with the Johan.
Pretty much, yeah. He's very nice move from Johan there through Eau Rouge, so he's now through into the podium, which would be great for Johan. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that. I think he's got the pace, I'd say, to pull away from Greg. Well, we'll see, but I reckon he has the pace to at least keep ahead. So we'll see what happens with JJ. I'll be interested to see if he can catch these guys, because I really do. I think he's just a little bit faster but even Greg and Lindbergh, and they're up in the in the top 5. So we'll see where JJ gets, but that's what, about 6 seconds from JJ, where he's now in 8th. He has gotten by Brewster, got by earlier on, up to Lindbergh. So it's a bit of a gap, even though we've got over half the race left. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, Lindbergh up to 3rd. Randy Murray looking pretty comfortable in 5th, kind of on his own at the moment. Also shout out to Mark Hutchinson in 7th, having another good race for Tafel. Seems like he's sort of coming to the fore as the rounds go on. Just seems to be getting better and better in that car, which is really good to see. He's got JJ Cunningham now, so that's going to be interesting to watch. Otherwise, it's all pretty quiet. I think Manta's another issue further down the field. He's 19th at the moment. I've been seeing him bouncing up and down between sort of 18th and 20th for a while now. It seems he's trying to make moves, but then he has a moment or something happens and he drops down. So, not good stuff for him after the start.
Oh,
last
I
round.
tell you what, we do have an interesting little battle proceeding to develop itself. James Johnson is not that far off the back right now of Mark Hutchinson ahead, who's not far off the back of Holmes, who's not far off the back of Muru, who's really not far off the back of this Greg Lindbergh, which is heating up again. We're going to see another move down the Kettle Straight, possibly. Terence Greg's lining himself up for it. The Maltese pretty much bomb-drafted Lindbergh through Eau Rouge, and he's going to get the perfect tour through here. He'll have the speed advantage. He goes to the outside. Lindbergh there. It's going to be tight, but he's going to have a chance around the outside into Clacombe here. And is he going to outbreak Lindbergh? He's not. He's going to wait and hope that the Swede makes a mistake, which he hasn't done. So that's not helped the Maltese. Further behind, Holmes, Muru, the next big battle for P5.
Indeed, no. I find that interesting that Gretsch didn't get him. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence is running higher wing, to be honest, because he had the slipstream.
Can't help.
Yeah, he had the slipstream there, and he had the momentum, and he still wasn't able to get past him down the Kamal straight. If anything, Lindbergh kind of got speed back, so I reckon Lindbergh's got a lower downforce setup potentially. Which is interesting because he's suddenly getting away through the middle sector, which is where you need downforce. So, yeah, interesting. But that's just what I kind of took from that. But either way, that battle will keep going. And as you say, Muru, Holmes, Hutchinson, and James Johnson are all not far behind. So we'll keep an eye on that. Matthew Churgwin, by the way, has made another couple of moves. He's up to 10th spot.
Oh, yeah?
Got past Rob Mason recently, so 9th and 10th for Drake. Good stuff there, I'm sure. And certain Mr. Willis, who at the moment is sitting in 17th, would be very, very happy with that. To see them up there. Let's have a look. Mance is still 19th, by the way, so he's still trying to climb back through. And we have 24 drivers left, so 4 retirements so far in this race. Stefan is seeming to pretty comfortably pull away from Mike, although, as I said, Mike not doing too bad. He's not dropping as badly as I thought he would.
Yeah, the gap only about 2 seconds between these two at the moment, so...
Yeah, he's only dropping, it seems like a...
Stefan Rules is not quint-proof yet. It must be said, he's not quint-proof. If Mike gets a move on, or Stefan makes a mistake, he will be more than in the threat of the Dutchman, so keep an eye out. Personal best laps is that for Randall Muru and Matthew Churgwin, both 205s. Churgwin 205.3, Muru 205.5.
Oh, yeah, Johnson, Hutchinson, he's got it done. There you go. I think he has it all.
Well, Hutchinson has the tow, but JJ might still have enough speed, although Mark, don't count him out. No, I think he's holding back here.
Yeah.
No, he lifted off. He just wants to get out of the way here, to be honest, as James Johnson continues his crusade towards the higher positions of the higher echelons of the field, so to speak, back where he once was. He's actually going to overtake Jonathan Holmes, his ex-teammate in Formula Challenge, actually. I remember the day when they were teammates, or the year, rather.
Yeah, interesting to see that from Hutchinson. I think he obviously knows JJ's JJ, and he's, a lot quicker than Mark is, so being smart there and deciding he'll just take the 8th spot and hold on to that for top 10. Good result that would be for Hutchinson. Definitely help him in the title fight in the top 10 there. But yeah, looking pretty stable at the moment. Lindbergh's consolidated that gap to Greg. He's actually opened it to about a second, actually 1.3 or so. So Lindbergh showing good pace right now as he's finally gotten clear of Terence. Terence, if anything, is actually dropping into the hands of Muru ever so slightly. So we'll see how that goes. But either way, looking like things are all quieter now. Everyone's sort of spaced out pretty evenly. I'm trying to look for any battles further down, but not seeing any.
Yeah, it's that point that Spa can do that. It can just become
Yeah.
a track where everyone gets into their own little rhythm and races, but it's good when we do have fights or little battles between drivers. Not like I'm saying we need to get in full-blown 50 cups, but, you know, a nice little duel would do, or a trio duel, because we've got one developing. James Johnson's caught right up to his ex-teammate Jonathan Holmes. This will be interesting, because they're quite similar on pace, and they must know each other's styles very well from that time as teammates.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out. Mirror, of course, there as well, and they're all sort of cascading into each other almost as they go along. Here goes toe from Jono. Let's see how he goes. Jeez, he's looking really threatening. Look at this, yeah.
Muru, yeah.
Yeah, Mirror having a defensive, so he looks for the outside. Oh, he's got it done. Look at that. Look at how much speed and momentum Holmes has got. And I think he's got it done. He has. Great move
he
from
has,
Jono.
yeah. I should add, that move there pretty much prevented Johnson from doing anything. He got boxed out, so to speak. He's going to think, right, got to wait my turn. And he's going to wait his turn and have a go on Rando. And wants to go through on the Muru, indeed, to get P6 and challenge Jonathan Holmes once again.
Yeah, indeed. So good stuff, though, from Jono to get that done. Top 5 for Holmes. I think he'd love that. It'd be a great result for him. Sort of a return to form, at least for the moment for Jono. So it'd be good to see some of that true talent we know he has coming through here at Spa. Though Randu's catching up big time there through the middle sector. Again, I suspect Muru's got a pretty high downforce setup because he has caught Jono like you wouldn't believe through the middle sector. So I'm guessing Muru's got a high downforce setup as well. And this is an interesting thing as well with Spa, isn't it? Is that we get these contrasting setups. You get guys who go for the low downforce, for the speed, making it a little slow for the middle sector. You get the opposite end. You got guys going for the high downforce, a little less speed. Then you got guys trying to sort of mix the two. It's very, very interesting dynamic that I think Spa really brings to the table that a lot of other tracks don't bring to the fore, certainly as much as Spa does.
Would you like to know something about James Johnson's pace? His last lap was the fastest of the race, and he's on course to set another fastest lap. He did a purple sector 1. His sector 2 isn't that far off the others, who are on leading pace. Well, I say that, but it is his 1.6 off Ruold. But nonetheless, his last sector isn't enough for fastest lap. I think he ruined it through sector 2 a bit, but he's having to go on Muru, but Muru's not far from Holmes. This is a 3-way battle still for P5. Could become a 4-way because Mark Hutchinson's not far behind.
Yeah, indeed.
So
yeah,
all of a sudden, we've got a battle from Norway.
Yeah. Yeah, good to see.
There's not long to go in this race. Either it's only 11 laps, and there's only 2 or 3 laps left in this race as Johnson, round the outside of Muru, Rando, helpless to defend now, has got to go back into the tour to even get a chance at overtaking again, but doesn't. I think he's accepted defeat on this front. Now it's the battle we all want to see. Johnson versus Holmes. Jono versus JJ. Who's your bets on? I know Sam Jones has had to do somewhere, apparently.
Yeah, no, it was Yunt getting past Rob Mason, I'm fairly sure. So
I misheard Yunt as Jones. Judd is through on Mason. Cabrera not far behind, but back to this 4th and 5th battle, 5th and 6th, 6th, 7th, 5, 6 Jono JJ battle. I got it out in the end.
Yeah, indeed, sorry.
Well, it's died down now because there's not much in it. Well, there's quite a bit in it, actually. With all
that was interesting.
Jonathan Holmes is actually outpacing James Johnson.
There you go. Wow. So
well, not much longer because he's just caught right back up again.
Yeah,
so
indeed.
we're now a log up ahead. So this is, I think I maybe have been too quick to write that off there. So keep an eye on Holmes v Johnson then, because it could be interesting. But that is definitely a battle we'll want to keep an eye on. Randall Muru as well isn't out of contention. They are not Muru free, these two.
Yeah, Yunt's made a mistake in 11th.
And Yunt has made a mistake indeed.
Yeah, he went a bit wide. It's going to give Mason a go.
We have 2 laps to go in this race, therefore. Yunt versus Mason through Blanchimont. This could be a good one if Rob can get it done into the bus stop, man. Is he going to be brave enough to have a go? He's contemplating it. He almost did there, but too far outside to make it effectively work, I think. And Mason is going to have 2 more chances. 2 more laps, which does not necessarily equate to 2 more chances. But James Johnson's got a chance on Jonathan Holmes if he can get a good enough toll through Lacombe and, sorry, not Lacombe, Eau Rouge and Radion.
Yeah, indeed. Sorry, I'm looking back through as well. The battle for 15th is a bit interesting. Or 16th, sorry.
Here we go, James Johnson. Down the inside, he's through already. Holmes will want the cut back or to get the toe, but he can't. He's gone too defensive as Holmes. So he's Johnson on Holmes. And, well, JJ up to P5. And I hope that battle isn't over because these two can really race.
Yeah, indeed, for sure. I suspect JJ's probably got this one in the bag because we know how much pace he's got over pretty much everyone bar Mike.
Hutchinson's looking quick apparently according to Menno, and well, he's just in the 36.8, so that's 4 times quicker than Muru in the first sector. So, could be on for catching the Estonian here, and that would not be good for him because he's going to drop several places now. Oh, what's happened? We've had a bit of an off somewhere, and that is Jonathan Holmes who's gone off, and Randall Muru's just gone through into P6. So, all of a sudden, Holmes has lost the place, and he's got to get it back again.
Yeah, indeed, so it's all interesting, that battle. That's right about...
See,
right.
the thing is though, not a lap ago, it was Holmes, Muru, Johnson. That was Johnson, Muru, Holmes. The order's reversed itself. That is how quickly things can change in sim racing. And well, speaking of change, Stefan Ruolt is about to change the lap counter from 2 to 1. He comes around the bus stop chicane now, round the final corner, and he's about to start the final lap of the race, and he is a good while 3 seconds ahead of Mike Quint now.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. So it's interesting little battle developing here throughout this phase of the race. Right over where I thought it would happen too. So Randy Muru got it for the moment, but as Menno said, Hutchinson seems to be picking up pace of anything with the last few laps, so he might be one to watch in the end. Also, shout out to the Drags. They've actually showed some pretty good pace here. They've kind of kept their own in the back end of the team, which is...
Muru Holmes again. Here we go. Take 2. Jono down the inside, coming into Eau Rouge. Someone's got to give it into Randall Muru before they even get to the corner. Randall Muru gives, and he gives the place. Hutchinson has a decent enough toe. Will this be P7 for the Englishman? He goes, and there's not enough room now. I think Muru's going for it back on Holmes. He's going to have to yield. Hutchinson's got no chance of it now, but Muru round the outside of the Coombe, and he's made it work back into P6, and Holmes must be fuming.
There you go. Wow, that was really good battling there. Good stuff though from Muru. Very good move, and he now back up into 6th spot. Holmes looks feisty though. I wouldn't put him out of getting back at this one, and obviously Hutchinson looking pretty pacey too. So it's probably going to be pretty much a case of who's in the optimum spot for that final run through the Kamal Strait. So watch this, because this is obviously the main battle at the moment. Although, wow, look at Hutchinson! Oh boy, he's made a little bit of a ball on the curb. Yeah,
he's had a bit of a do there, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's dropped time now.
The curb on the outside of Poulan there, it's really interesting because if you hit it wrong, it can really just sort of chuck you off the track. So you've got to be really careful with that. You don't want to take too much of Poulan because it will chuck you out the other side in a very not nice state. So
you got to watch it. You got to watch it happen here. Stefan Ruolt. Sorry to interrupt you there, but Ruolt is coming through the bus stop chicane for the final time, around the final corner, and he has taken another well-deserved win. Stefan Ruolt takes race 1 here at Spa Francorchamps, and he's followed by Mike Quint in P2, Johan Lindberg P3, Greg 4th. It's going to be James Johnson after a recovery drive to 5th. What a good result, all things considered. Randall Muru 6th, Holmes 7th, Hutchinson 8th, Brewster 9th, Cameron Brewster 9th, and then Chergo in 10th to make it a Drake 9-10 in race 1. Junt 11th, Cabret 12th, points for Cosmo again. Rob Mason's going to be 13th, Mitchell de Jong 14th, Michael Bernard rounds out the points for Deltic in P15. Then it's Kumar after a really case of what could have been for the Indian. He'll finish just outside the points, and it's going to be Ben Willis 17th, Popolitis 18th, Ferreira 19th, Jones 20th, Blanek 21st, Metcalf 22nd, and the retirements Nebius, Batala, Fournier, Falabkas, Debris, and Vizal. Well,
Indeed,
what
wow.
a blaming race that was.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, very pretty full of action. Only had a couple of sort of quiet moments. So yeah, that was very interesting race, and some contrasting fortunes as well. We had some guys obviously have instance in race 1 that helped the likes of, I feel like it really helped the likes of Mason, who was up in the top 10 there briefly, or earlier on. So he was falling down slowly during the race, but he still held on for 13th, so good stuff for Robbie well there, considering that it seemed his pace wasn't quite as good as the guys around him, so good stuff from Rob. But yeah, No, interesting to see Mike. Only 4 seconds off the lead, so a good little drive from Mike. And as Menno mentioned there, I think it's his best result in FC. It's great stuff from Mike in that one. Good stuff for Brasilia too, because obviously David in 11th as well, so really good team points for them. And also kudos to Limburg in third, a very solid race from him. And still fifth for JJ, so even though he spun and dropped to ninth, he still recovers to fifth. So in the end, not too bad, really, for JJ, all things considered.
Wow. It was an interesting race indeed, wasn't it, you know? And, well, let's just move on to race 2, I guess, because some people want to forget that race, others will want to remember it. And, oh, just got a bit of a whisper through there, accidentally, I think. Well, that's fine though. It hasn't. Oh, I am being whispered apparently. Yes, I am being whispered. I'll just notify the person who's whispering me.
But yeah, just looking at that race, yeah, it was very interesting. Found it. I found it interesting how chaotic the first few laps were. I know it's Spa, I know it's chaotic, and I guess to be fair, it is 28 cars. It's quite a lot of cars on the grid, especially for an R Factor 2 race. But yeah, I didn't expect it to be that chaotic, to be honest, in the first couple of laps, so that was very interesting. The reverse grid is going to be something else, I suspect. If they can get through the first lap without contact, I think they'll have done well, to be honest. So we will see. We will see how things go. So yeah, this is it's Spa. I feel like Spa. It's one of those tracks always throws up some very unique results, and certainly is in the case of Deltec for me, the ones that stand out there because in a lot of rounds this season they've really struggled for pace. Have Brewster and Shergwin. Hungary, I believe they were down near the back for qualifying in the races. But here, yeah, 9th and 10th, and they look very comfortable. I mean, look at that. Cam was only just off the back of that 6th place battle, so good signs for them. And yeah, and as I said, double points for Mad Capes. That's great stuff. So you're going to be happy with that, and also double points for Deltec. So very, very interesting results to see. It's going to be interesting to see a couple of the guys further back come through. We know Roy's got pace, so if he can keep it together, then he could get a good result. Same with Batalla as well, showed some good pace in qualifying. Same with Fournier as well, and Lazarus for that matter. So, very, very interesting. A lot to take from that first race, I think.
Yeah, a shame about Vizile. He's come back, and it is a shame to have seen him have that accident. Hopefully, he can get it together for race 2, because we don't like to see people having mistakes and incidents with each other. And, well, race 2 tends to be the race where people know what's going on, so it's a bit more calculated. And with all the people coming through with the reverse grid as well, that could always benefit Vizile because he'll be behind the leading people, so he'll know how quick to be.
Yeah, indeed. We'll see. We'll see how we go. It depends. Depends as this race goes. Wouldn't be surprised if
he did have back in previous Formula Challenge seasons, because we have had him about. He has shown good pace, and we know he's got the pace, but he is quite new to R Factor 2 as well. He obviously has had time to practice and all that. It's not like he's coming in without practice. But it's difficult to learn when you've just started R Factor
2. Definitely. Yeah, it's a entirely new beast, that's for sure. I know a lot of the cars that obviously back in R Factor 1, I've done a couple other races elsewhere league-wise that Stewie's R Factor 1. And yeah, it's very weird. It just feels very strange now. So we see how far Sims have come. So
I just can't race R Factor 1 anymore now. I've got the R Factor 2 bug. It just feels not as good.
Yeah. So know that feeling. But yeah, interesting race this will be. I wouldn't be surprised if potentially this could be a bit of a race for attrition. We'll see. It depends how the opening couple of laps go, being reverse grid. So I'm always skeptical of reverse grids of any description because I always just assume that we're going to have a bit of chaos at some point. So we'll see. But I wouldn't be too surprised if it's retirement heavy. We'll see.
You can be the skeptic, I'll be the optimist. And we just wait for the reverse grid number now, which dictates who finishes where. And it's going to be interesting to... it's 15. That is reverse grid number 15. Quite quick from Chris Williamson. So that means that Michael Bernard is on pole position.
Huh.
He'll
There
be
we
happy
go.
about that.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting then. Yeah. So basically the max we get obviously being 10 to 15. So pretty much the first half of the field flipped, which is going to be interesting to see. We'll see how this goes, but yeah. Well, I'm fascinated to be honest because,
Yeah.
it's going to be a difficult one to overtake with the
Yeah,
slipstream as well,
I'm
especially
very happy he's on pole.
Yeah, for sure. And also gonna be interesting with the with guys who have high downforce. They could have a bit of fun trying to get through. So I'm watching Muru, thinking, by the looks of his high downforce, I suspect he's got high downforce because to be as quick as he's going through Pilon, he's got to have high downforce. So guys like him who have the high downforce swing settings are going to have an interesting time overtaking. So yeah, it's going to be as I said before, the dynamic could be one to watch with guys with varying paces at varying points of the track, kind of colliding. So yeah, hopefully not literally, but yeah.
Yeah, so going to be interesting to see how this pans out. Of course, with that result, everyone from 15th up has been reversed, so 14th second, 13th third, etc., etc. And that's obviously how that's going to work. And, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, and also actually two things real quick, sorry. Apologies if points during that race where I didn't pick up the mic. I think I've got this glitch going on right now that I get sometimes with TeamSpeak and rFactor 2. It's some kind of weird glitch where my mic doesn't pick up even though it says it is on TeamSpeak, God knows why. But anyway, I think I have that glitch happening right now, so if I was really quiet at points during that race, apologies. I was probably saying something and my mic wasn't picking up, so apologies there. Secondly, I'll speak English eventually. Leinek, not biased towards my own team, I swear. I honestly think he's one to watch because he did show good pace in practice. I suspect he's got top 10 pace, genuinely. So I think he'll be starting about 20th to 21st after that first race. So he'll be just off the midfield. I think he'll be one to watch because I think his pace is definitely enough to get him in the top 10 at least the points. So I think he's one to watch. And yeah, it's fascinating to see the differences with the drivers because there's drivers who were doing, as I said, the Drags seem to be doing really well here. Jono seems to be doing really well. And then the contrast, first I said, Mantis was, I think he was 19th in that race or 18th. And I was watching his pace and I was watching his progress and he just was not making any. So I think genuinely his pace is like high teens at best. So, so it's interesting to see, isn't it, that Spa sort of brings out the special ability almost in some people. It just brings out this extra step that maybe other tracks they don't have or they have more trouble finding. So yeah, it's very fascinating. I do enjoy Spa and the stuff that brings out in drivers.
Yep, it's Spa, that's what it is, ultimately, I guess. But I've just been, throughout these two little, well, to the start of the second race, I've been actually enjoying a nice pot of noodles. So I've just been busy doing that in between, but I've not been talking, and it's quite nice actually. It's chili flavoured, so it's spicy to go with the spicy racing with that.
Yeah, indeed, good way
Certainly,
to start
it's been a long time since I've had a snack while I've been commentating. So or any food while I've been commentating. So you know, it's a nice return to old habits for me.
Yeah, indeed, definitely.
Gotta keep yourself nourished somehow.
This is making me hungry now, but anyway, that's fine. I'll sort that out.
Go put something on the barbie, mate.
I would if we had one here, or if I had one in the vague vicinity, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, by law, I thought all Australians had to have a barbecue.
Sort of. Depends
Would you
where
make
you are,
that
to be
law
fair.
if you became in power?
Sorry? What was that? Sorry?
If you got in power, would you make that a law? All Australians must have a barbecue.
Ooh. Sure, why not?
Oh, go on then. Well, okay, Hinss for dictator, everyone has a barbie. There you go, that is what's happening now. And, well, there you go. So, I'm going to move to race in a moment for race 2. Everyone hoping to do well again.
User disconnected from your channel.
Etc. And we've lost Thomas Hinss temporarily. So he's going to go see if he can fix some mic issue that he's got. I didn't notice anything, but fair enough. But we're just going to go to the race again, and he's going to be back with us actually pretty soon. So just warning everyone to take care in the opening corners of the race. Again, as we all saw, it can go terribly wrong. And, well, let's hope that it doesn't go quite as badly as the race one started, because it wasn't fantastic. Wishing everyone the best of luck, and once again, we are set to get our jolly selves racing. And once again, I've missed my cue. I've done it too early. I need some sort of timer or notification from Chris when we're actually going to go racing, because this is starting to get very annoying.
It's always a guesswork, though, whether you get it right.
You never know, do you? You've always got to guess. You've always got to be, no, I think it's going to be now, or whatever. You know, you can never really tell, but it is actually now.
It is, yeah. Should be interesting. Not sure, yeah. As always, we watch JJ and Stefan, always the guys to watch, as usual. Mike should be interesting to watch as well. Hopefully they'll fix the mic issue, by the way, guys. I relogged TS real quickly, sneakily in the background like a ninja that I am not really at all.
I noticed you when I mentioned it.
Yeah, yeah. It's very clumsy ninja at that.
You should never have told us.
Yeah, I should have just very quietly gone out and then came back.
Just like I'll see myself out. Well, Michael Bernard is going to see the grid off from pole position now for Deltec. So from one Deltec on the front row to another Deltec on the front row. This time it is Michael Bernard leading the field away for, well, I'll tell you this. Last time it was a Mad Cape and a Deltec on the front row. That hasn't changed. It's Bernard from Mitchell de Jong in P2. Then it's Rob Mason who starts a fantastic third for Epic Racing, and hopefully he'll be able to make the most of that. Tommy Cabrera, fourth for Cos Motorsport. I did not realise he'd be that far up the field. Tommy definitely want to watch. David Judd, P5. Again, the master of race 2, looking to get a good start. Then it's Matthew Sherwin in P6. Cameron Brewster, P7. Mark Hutchinson, P8. Jonathan Holmes, P9. Then it's Randall Muru, 10. James Johnson, 11. Terence Grech, 12. Johan Neberg, 13. Mike Quinn, 14. Stefan Ruholtz, 15. Then it's Kumar, Willis, Fomolitis, Susan Ferrer, Jones, Malek, Metcalf, Mebius, Batala, Fournier, Falabacus, DeVries, and Vizile rounding up the field. We've done already because you already know what teams are driving for. Don't need to go over them again. So, a lot more time than last time to talk about the grid this time, because there's time on our hands. Time is of the essence, and time is good. So, what's the time? It's race 2 time, Hinsey.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I'm interested to see how Barnard goes. I think his pace is a little bit further off those around him, possibly. We'll see. I think top 3 are pretty close on pace, at least. De Jong, Barnard, and Rob all seem to be pretty tight on pace, so I'm expecting them to be pretty similar. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see as well, again, where the Drags end up in all this, because it does seem like they have genuine pace here, so we'll see where they end up. Hutchinson, again, he seemed to have good pace, especially towards the end of the race, which suggests to me that he may have a better car for worn tyres and lower fuel, but we'll see. And yeah, obviously JJ and the likes, where they end up, is always interesting to watch. And yeah, a couple others further down I'll be watching as well to see where they end up, especially like Roy at the very back of the field, and a couple of the guys, Fournier, Patella, who we know have pace, who are further down. Yeah, it should be hopefully not a complete mess, fingers crossed. I know Spark can do that sometimes, but fingers crossed it's not a mess and it's a good fun race and we get some really nice battles. We'll see. We'll know after the first 2 or 3 laps, I suspect.
I think we will know. Who's your pick for the win then?
Ooh, boy, choices. You know what, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do something a little bit unusual. I suspect it will. I think it'll be unusual. I'm gonna go with the Bowser himself, Mr. Brewster.
Oh, Cameron Brewster. Now that is a surprise. Not saying because he can't do it. I think he can, but that is a fair choice. You know what? I'm gonna throw a curveball as well, and I'm gonna say David Yunt. I think he's got a good run to get the win from P5, and he is really good in race 2. I think it's possible for the Swiss to do this with bliss and pleasure and happiness. And all that proverbial adjectives as Roy Virgile slots into the last grid slot, so we're going to get underway here in Spa once again. And we have 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and once again, we're racing, and it looks to be a decent enough start from Bernard, who gets the jump on De Jong. Look at Mason, Cabrera, and Junt behind all of them as we come into turn 1. Bernard holds the lead, bit of problems with the back, possibly. Junt actually uses the place to Chegwin, who's Cabrera's, what's coming with Cabrera? Johnny's got to do there. We do have problems at the back. But Cabrera right on the back of De Jong as we come through into Eau Rouge now. What a start from the Spaniard. He's had an absolute flyer and he's chasing De Jong down into Lecombe. Can he get second? This would be great if he could. And Cabrera is practically bump drafting De Jong. There's no room at the end, but he's going to have to try and make it or break early. What's he going to do? He is going to break early, but he's braked late enough to hold it with De Jong. No position change therefore, but he's still there and thereabouts. Jon up to 4th, Brewster 5th. Mason 6th, Chegwin 7th, Hutchinson 8th, Johan Abel 9th, John Holmes 10th, and Stefan Ruholtz up 4 places to 11th. And this is not over yet by any means, because Johnson is 12th and round the outside of Purcell. What a move from Johnson to hold it with Ruholtz. And they are battling like crazy all the way up and down the field at the moment. And can't really see anyone who's had an incident either, so that's all the better. Where has Roy Vitale gone? He's gone all the way up to 18th from the back. That's how quick the Dutchman is. Keep a beady eye on him. But Michael Bernard has actually led so far this lap. Dare I say he's going to actually lead a lap for Deltec. Not to say because he's slow, of course. I think he's a talented driver, but possibly an unexpected turn of events.
Yeah, indeed. Also, shout out to Malinek as well. He's up to 16th already, so he's had a good start. Along with the others. Terrace Grek was one of the... Oh boy, who's that?
Where's the crash? We've had a crash.
Randy Muru.
We've had a Muru. Yes, we have had a Muru. That is havoc down in Stanwell too. I had a crash there once and it wasn't funny. Just like Sven de Vries about it. But what happened? Muru. Oh, wow. Bruno Sousa Ferreira went off, clouted the wall. His car exploded. Muru went into him and there was havoc near the back of the field. Ferreira out, Muru out with a broken wheel off the car. Gerrit de Vries has got a wheel scale. Jeffrey Fournier hasn't though. And Terence Crack's got no front wing end plate in all this. Tommy, what's happening with Tommy Cabrera? He's on the back of Mitchell de Jong, that's what. And he's going to have another go down into Lecombe. This time there's no Barnard, who has now led a lap of the Formula Challenge race to stop him though. It's Spain versus Holland, I think. And it's Tommy Cabrera having to go at Mitchell de Jong down the inside. And Lecombe, he's got to go for it. Does go for it. Doesn't get it. And Junt is now on the back of the Spaniard.
And indeed, looking back as well as Jono Holmes, I think, has just got past Lindbergh, I'm fairly sure. So JJ and Rod up to 8th and 9th. They're already making really good progress through the field. They may even be fighting in the front by the end of the race at the rate they're going. So keep an eye on those guys. Also, how is that all going?
Can I just point out as well, props to Rando Muru. He's trying to keep going with no real right wheel. That is dedication right there. Props to him. Cabrera runs wide now, and David Junt is set to take the podium place of 3rd. And he does. Through goes the Swiss Superman into P3. And now his eyes will be firmly fixed on Mitchell de Jong and Michael Bernard. Cameron Brewster on all this. Wants now Cabrera because he's getting closer. 4th.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, he's stayed stationary though. The Delta, both drivers, I think, have stayed pretty much where they were. So it's still status quo on that front, as JJ's probably going to get the move done on Rob Mason very, very soon, I would say. Obviously, the pace difference is pretty real. So
looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like down here.
He's going to have to go. He's going to have to go through the hard way.
He's probably going to do it, to be fair.
He's not going to make it easy as Mason. He has every right to defend this place. JJ, go! Almost back in the wheels with Mason there, but he gets through. Good move from Johnson to go through the P8.
Could I just... This is going to sound...
Chegwin, Ruholtz, I didn't even notice Ruholtz. He's 6th!
Hutchinson spun, by the way.
He's all the way up in P6 after just 2 laps. Chegwin almost catches them. I almost lost my voice there. But Johnson, this is a 3-way battle for 6th now.
So, yeah, it is indeed. It's a fascinating battle. Mark Hutchinson, by the way, spun at the final bus stop chicane. He's 24th now, so not a very good race for Mark after a very promising first race in the bag.
Here we go for the lead. Bernard de Jong at the front. Mitchell de Jong has overtaken Michael Bernard. And all he can do is wait and hope he gets a chance now because Junt Cabrera has happened again. Tommy doesn't get through, unfortunately, but David had a bit of a scare. But Mitchell de Jong is leading a 4-minute challenge race.
Spin.
Oh, spin. Who spun?
Churgwin
spins.
spun.
Churgwin's had enough. That is not good for Matthew Churgwin. I'm getting too excited here. Goodness sake, Josh. Edward Battano and Ben Willis having to go further up the road, but now it looks like Churgwin is going to be under threat from, where is Matthew? He's gone all the way back, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's 21st. It's actually him and Rewalt had a little moment there. I'm not entirely sure.
Roy Battano is in the points now, so let's hope he doesn't have another error like in race 1, because he is on fire, the Dutchman. He went last in 28th to 14.
Indeed, yeah, and also, I'll shout, I swear there's not bias.
Yeah.
I swear.
I swear there is no bias.
Yeah, hashtag no bias. Yeah, I was going to say, Linux actually up to 9th, like 21st, 22nd.
Yeah, this is a good race
field,
for
I can't believe.
So, the pole, not necessarily on pole to start the race, but he's heading towards pole, P1. Oh, Bernard, under threat from Junt. Bit of a battle here, Switzerland versus England, I believe, and, well, here we go. Junt versus, and funny comment in the comments by Rookie Hoaxer, Bazile's on fire. Is your defence terrified? Well, potentially after the incident with Kumar, but who knows? Mitchell de Jong, we know, is leading though for Mad Cape, and that's great. Has Mitchell de Jong actually had a racing Formula Champions this season?
Not sure, but I'm sure he'd love
the
it.
reputation that came behind him, you'd hope he would have, but I don't think he has. If he has not, this will be his first race that he's had been in the lead of.
Indeed, yeah. Also, Mike Quint has had a spin at the last corners. He's 24.
But more importantly, back in the front, Junt Bernard on again. He's going for it. Is the Swiss down the outside of Lacoon? Bernard in the ideal place to defend, but Junt's through. Bernard has to break later now. Is he going to? No, he's not. David Junt in the P2. And what a stellar race this is going to be. Junt de Jong.
Indeed, yeah. And so Bernard's still third, though, looking... okay, Brewster, by the way, is also quite on the back of Cabrera.
Brewster's on the back of Cabrera. Tommy versus Cam. I like both
JJ
of them. I don't
there
want
as
either
well.
of them to have problems here. Touch wood, they won't.
Yeah, and there's JJ in there too.
Randall Moore is now retired, unfortunately. There goes his stoic defence of that position.
He definitely didn't give up, so credit to him for that. Look at JJ though. I think, in all honesty, I know he's still got a few guys to pass, but I'm thinking JJ is looking pretty good for this.
He's looking pretty good, but don't count anyone out because there is still like 8 laps to go in this race or something. We're on lap 4 of 11, and Johnson has passed Brewster for 5th, and he's going for Cabrera for 4th. Tommy won't make this easy because he's a very talented driver. But JJ might be thinking of getting past quickly here, and Tommy might just want to defend that high position that he's got.
Oh, big crash.
We have a crash
in the points. Terrace Greg,
oh dear,
another crash.
Got involved in that. What happened? Roy went down the outside, and then, he came in. Roy came in, and there was Willis involved, and he was already on the inside. And, coming to the turn, it was coming into the Cambos complex. Willis didn't really, well, actually I can't tell because my replay is dodgy, so again, it could have been either, but, Johnson, where's Johnson going? James Johnson on Brewster, now going for Cabrera in the same corner, it hasn't worked, Tommy holds position, but he gets just almost too close, contact between them, that was controversial, unfortunately Johnson taps Cabrera a bit, batters him about, Rualt goes through as well. That might be decided by the DC as well. That might be investigated. That looked a little bit controversial. Johnson was on the back of Cabrera. It was actually Cabrera looked to lose it a bit, and then Johnson tapped him, which made it worse.
3 wide down Kamal. 3 wide down Kamal. JJ's got it, I think.
Here. This is interesting. Cabrera behind a lot of them. Rualt, Brewster, Rualt through to 5th, Johnson 4th, Brewster 6th, Cabrera 7th. And oh dear. Well, that hasn't gone particularly well for Tommy, of course, but Brewster, Rualt, Johnson train. They're doing well, but Mitchell is running away with us.
Yeah, at the moment, he is. Him and actually even the top 3 are not looking too bad. Barnard's actually held on to the back of Junt relatively well, which is good to see. So the top 3, as I sort of was thinking, all pretty similar on pace, although de Jong does seem to have a slight edge over the 2 behind him. But I don't know. I'm JJ, I think it's going to be a JJ Stefan battle here. They've just got so much pace over everybody else.
Yeah,
I know,
is
yeah.
actually taking a position on Jonathan Holmes here. He's now chasing down Tommy Cabrera. This could be a great race for the Hinss Motorsport driver if all goes well for him. And speaking of big cars that he's ahead of, Bruce Cabrera, potential fight on. Watch that. Young Barnard starting to close up again. Oh, it's staying pretty still. So all to play for. All to play for.
Indeed, yeah, and interesting. It's interesting to see. This is Monik, I think, started 21st, 22nd, as I mentioned before, and he's up to 8th. He's been on fire the whole race. Oh, hello.
Oh, Tommy,
yeah, Cabrera,
Tommy, he's going for it on cam, and he's got it on cam.
Wow.
Overtake, well done from Tommy Cabrera. Cooped, nice, cooped to perfection, almost as well cooped as my little Chinese we had steam buns that I had with my noodles, but he does that to perfection, and Cabrera at the 6th.
Yeah, good move there around the outside at the bus stop chicane. Yeah, just broke later and then just kept it around the outside.
I said Bernard Judd was closing up. It's closing up for Michael to have a go down the Camel straight on the Swiss. And if Michael can get this done, what a move it would be on Gavin
Also
Glenn,
ran
of all
behind.
people. He's on the
Stefan as well.
Yeah, he's on the outside coming into
And
this turn.
and Brewster
He's
as
not
well.
gonna get it done. Rural Johnson, a battle in itself between these two. And, well, this is going to be a great point off for both Mad Cape and Deltec, that's for certain.
Indeed, yeah. So it's battles actually going off everywhere. Yeah, they're all down the Camel straight. They're all going side by side.
Now, but Cameron Brewster going for Tommy Cabrera doesn't work, but Chip the next caught up to both of them.
Indeed, yeah, and even Jono behind, he's been catching them as well, and Lindbergh. So there's all these guys coming through that are really spicing this up. Look at this here game. Linex got a really nice run out of the corner with no name. It's not really a place to pass it on, a bit too risky to do that, so he hangs back. Oh, hello to Cabrera. Oh, Cabrera's going all the way off track.
Why there, mate? You're going to drop the position to Magic and potentially to John Holmes behind you. But he doesn't drop it to Jono, he holds it. Well held by Samu. Now the fight begins again.
Indeed, yeah. So it's all kicking off at the moment, and further back there's sort of big battles going on as well for 13th at the moment between a couple of the guys in the points there.
Yeah, Falapagos, Pomeranitis, Chergwin, all going on there as well at the back. But big battles too. Well, look at this Holmes on Cabrera. Looks on the outside. He's not going to do it to Blanchimont, Jonathan. He can't do it to Blanchimont. He's not going to do it, but he's going to line himself up. But look at this, Manette versus Brewster. Majid goes through before they even get to the corner. That is a sweet overtake from the pole.
Seems to me that this race must be the story of passing around the outside, because the amount of outside overtakes we've had has just been ridiculous so far.
Well, what have you started trickling around the outside? You've started a trend.
I have, yeah.
That's what you've done.
Also, 11th spot, there is a mighty old train behind Rob Mason right now, so this could be interesting.
There is. And Tommy Cabrera, Jonathan Holmes is about to kick off again. Jono is going to have the advantage on the Spaniard, and it's going to be a case of getting down the Camel.
Third place, Barnard.
As becoming the norm here.
Barnard and the 3 wide, I think, yeah.
Oh, well, where's Barnard? Michael Barnard, 3 wide, going to 4th. Barnard, Rualt through on Johnson. Barnard, it's all kicking off here. Johnson wants to go up Rualt. And it's not going to happen yet, but Barnard keeping them both inside. Chick is going to try and catch up on both. Johnson tries to do the switch back round into Brussels. Not working.
Contact further back. That battle for 11th ended sort of like I thought it would.
Mason, Pomeranitis, the likes of that. Batara's off. Falapagos is off. Sam Jones narrowly avoids, but he has gone through into P14. But back at the front again, we've got an off in Jono Holmes. Lindbergh's going to have a shot. Cabrera 8th. Brewster 7th. The chicks. And I'm losing my voice now. I've got to do something. There we go.
Indeed. And also... also that now it's a battle for there's Lazarus almost had another moment there, so it's all kicking off at the back end of the points. But keep in mind what this has done is put Rory 16th, so he's almost back in the points again.
If he can keep it after the race, that is. Obviously, JC might have words to say.
Oh no, more contacts, Mason and Mantis.
That's a big one. Mason's on over here. Wait, what happened? I'm gonna have to
no, and boy. Oh, this is just... Oh, my
Rob
God.
went off, but Chip touched him, and then people are going left, right, and centre. Roy Vishale into the pints and all this in P13. And what's happening? Things are going off. Rob Mason's obviously off. Debris is flying everywhere here at Spa. And it's not good news for the drivers.
Yeah, indeed. I think, yeah, I think the chaos is coming down. The red mist has definitely descended, so it's sort of what I thought would happen.
Oh, wait, what's his
Oh,
right beside? He's doing something. He's gone off, unfortunately, and that's not gone well for the Dutchman. What's happened? He's into the bus stop, and has he just overshot it? Oh, yeah, he's just overshot it.
The funny thing
he's
is,
almost had to do with Flamencos afterwards, but...
Yeah, Mike Quint's back in the points again. This race has been just chaos. Mike Quint spun before, was like 24, and now he's back in the points again. This race is just... It's all on. Renault, Stefan's through in second, by the way, so Junt's down to third, and JJ's lining him up by the looks of it. So yeah, it's all kicking off. Brewster also under the pump from Cabrera.
Just a word on Roy Vajal. I think I finally found something I can use to compare him. I think he's the Juan Pablo Montoya of GPVWC. He's quick, but he's quite accident prone. But I think there is potential in him. I think there is potential in him. You know, absolutely. If he can just get it together, to be honest. And I'm sure that will come in time, as it does to all of us. I was terrible once too. I took my teammate out on my debut race. You can't do worse than that. You can't really do worse than that. Even Roy hasn't done worse, to be honest. So, you know, he's in P14 at the moment. But let's move back to the front of the field as we will now see the Mitchell de Jong show continues from Ruoff, from Johnson, from Junt, Bernard. But looking at the laps, there's not really that much in it between Ruoff and de Jong.
Yeah, indeed, it's gonna be interesting. I think Stefan's got a good chance. If he can get within slipstream distance for the last lap, I think he's got a really good shot at getting this. As long as he gets the move done, preferably before the middle sector. But we'll see. I mean, as you say, de Jong is actually showing really good pace right now, so we'll see how it goes. What's the gap going down? Okay, but only by a couple of tenths. Okay, that's not really going to be enough. So we'll see. He just needs to be consistent. That's all he's got to do. Just be consistent, not make mistakes, and that win could well be his. And obviously with JJ in third, Madcap looking like getting some really good points in this race. It's interesting to see as well. Barnard and Junt, they're still holding on. Linux seems to have kind of...
Oh, we're going to battle on. Roy Vajal has been passed by Mike Quint now as another threat dropping out of the points. This isn't good for the Dutchman. He's got the pace, we know, but something is not going right now. And he goes round into the first corner. Well, that sorts that then. What happened there? I think he just overdid it. Tapped Quint, and that's caused that.
Well, I think DC is going to have some fun times after this race.
DC are going to need the non-branded energy drink because they don't promote brands here on GPVWC, do we? Or do we? Do we not? Bring out the Red Bull, sort it. Yeah, get the Red Bull out. That'll give Rob Mason and Ben Willis. Sam Jones had a bit of a do. He had a bit of a do with a recovering Brazil, didn't he? So that was a problem. And then one of the Hinss Motorsport car behind managed to get through just and clipped. Yeah, this is going to be a busy work for the DC. Crack out the energy drinks. It's going to be an all-nighter.
Yeah. So either way, de Jong, 1.5 seconds. So I think Stefan just took a big chunk out of de Jong.
Closing the gap, but is he closing it quickly enough?
Well, I think he might, to be honest. I mean, I reckon he took a lot of time out in the middle sector there. It looks like the middle sector is where he's really fast. So we'll see. And keep in mind as well, JJ is just behind as well. So team orders, maybe either way. Look at this, David Junt and Barnard again. Reigniting.
Oh, yeah, Junt Barnard again. Let's have a rerun of that, will we? David Junt, but don't do that. Goes well deep through there. He with a flat spot of those tires into oblivion. Bernard gets the cutback and he's got to do the work all over again.
Indeed, yeah. So there you go. That is that done. Also, Holmes has finally caught the back of Brewster, and also Cabrera is actually under the pump from Lindbergh. In fact, I think Lindbergh may have a shot into turn one as they go through. Let's have a look. Is he close enough? He's looking, but Cabrera defends. But now he'll have a good run down to Eau Rouge. So, Cabrera's gone. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Taken
What's happened?
So
he has
Cabrera,
lost it, yeah.
Cabrera lost it on the curb, and then he's taken Lindbergh with him. So, that was a racing incident, nothing with that one. That was just Cabrera losing it.
Tommy went in, Tommy went out, lost it. Couldn't have done anything, unfortunately, to stop collecting Johan Lindbergh, who hasn't actually suffered that much. He's in the ninth. So, he hasn't lost that much, but Tomo's down to 11th, which won't make him very happy. But I'll tell you what will make Matic Malek very happy, the fact he's still in 6th and that Cameron Brewster and Jonathan Holmes are battling behind him.
Yeah, as I was mentioning, it's interesting. It seems to me like if it's stabilising, because Mleinek, as we mentioned, he was charging through the field in the first half of the race. It was really quick, and it seems to have stabilised. As I think there's been incidents. It's Churgwin. Oh no, what's happened there? He's had a moment somewhere.
Churgwin, yeah. He's down in the 15, 16, 17,
him and
dropping like a dropping bomb.
Yeah, him and Lindbergh had a moment.
Yeah, that's put Roy into 17th again. But what happened? Did he just spin or?
I think contact between himself and Lindbergh. I think it may have just been a misjudging from Churgwin.
I think we've got 2 or 3 laps to go now. Next is the last, actually. This is the second to last. And Mitchell de Jong and Stefan Ruot are going to have a lead battle. So keep a beady eye on that, will you, Menno? Because we're going to go to it. The battle for the lead in the final lap, under a second between Ruot and de Jong as the latter will start the final lap of the race.
Indeed, yeah. So let's have a look at the gap. It'll be under a second now, 8/10. So we'll see. Depends how quick he is through that middle sector. But it seems to me that Stefan's really quick through that middle sector. So we'll see. I'm thinking the final bus stop chicane, unless he gets him down the Kimmel Straight.
Shenanigans, perhaps. Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. Other battles include Cabrera Batala for 9th, Metcalf and Povolitis for the final point position coming at the bus stop now. Mantas versus Brett is not going to happen yet.
No,
it's
going
to be soon. It's going to be soon. But back to the front. Ruot has gone through on de Jong. Mitchell's got a break him and doesn't. Stefan Ruot Majors have taken the race win here, but he's got to fend off Mitchell de Jong.
Indeed, yeah. So.
Derek de Vries is left.
Yeah, I think he retired earlier on. So 20 guys left.
That was Brett Metcalf I was looking at before. Sorry, not Derek de Vries. That's why I was so surprised. But Ruot de Jong Mitchell's keeping up. So if Stefan, in the unlikely event that he does make a mistake, Mitchell is there. But I doubt he will make a mistake, and Ruot could make it a race win quite easily now. He's just pulling away.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's
I think the star for me of this race would be Michael Bernardo to hold 4th at the starting pole. I think that's worth a definite mention. And Menno says it's Matic Malek for him. Who's your special pick then, Hinsey?
Oh, I'm being biased, but yeah. I'd have to go Mleinek, I think, because he just had so much pace throughout the race.
Yeah, that bias.
No. Yeah. Hashtag no bias. Yeah. No. But I will say, Barnard definitely deserves a shout out because that's a really good result to get 4th, and also to David Yount to get 5th and holding on with good pace.
Stefan Ruot then coming around the bus stop chicane. He did do it in the final lap, and he has got himself a very, very well earned race win from further back in the field, 14th, I believe. It's going to be Stefan Ruot winning race 2 here at Spa. Mitchell de Jong is actually being taken by James John.
Team orders.
Wow.
Team orders.
We saw this in Super League as well. James Johnson, Mitchell de Jong lets James Johnson through at the very end. Michael Francesconi did it to Eros Mashuli in the last race at Hungary in Super League. Now it's Johnson de Jong who does it as well. Michael Barnard 4th, however. Well done, Michael. Well deserved. My driver of the day. David John 5th. Matic Malek 6th. Cameron Brewster 7th. Jonathan Holmes 8th. Tommy Cabrera 9th. Edward Batala 10th. Lazarus Falapkos 11th. Great job, Lazarus. Mike Quinn 12th. Johan Lindbergh 12th. Mark Hutchinson 14th. Mantas Povolitis the final points placer in 15th. Then it's Brett Metcalf, Matthew Churgwin, Roy Brazile, Sam Jones, Ben Willis. And the retirements were Garrett de Vries, Jeffrey Fournier, Rob Mason, Hansco Media. His name is Jan Kumar, Terence Grech, Randall Muru, and Bruno Souza Ferreira. And breathe.
Yeah, that was something else. I think, as I said, I think the DC is going to have a busy time for race 2. There was a lot of incidents and so on throughout that race. I think the red mist descended a bit as it does at Spa, especially when there's reverse grid races involved. It does tend to get a little bit chaotic, and unfortunately that was this race. But yeah, as I said, good shout out to De Jong, Barnard, Yount, all very good stuff from them to get those results. As I said, Mleinek, and I swear, it's honestly no bias, he genuinely had really good pace during that race, so really good stuff for him to get 6th from like 22nd on the grid. Who else as well? As I said, Lazarus, good result for him in the academy car. Good recovery from Mike. He spun early on. He was down like 25th. He came up to 12th. So good result there for Mike after a pretty chaotic race. And yeah, just general shenanigans is all I'm going to say about that race. Just many shenanigans were had. Is probably the best way to describe that one.
Well, it was good, wasn't it? It was good, and the Johnson de Jong thing, you're allowed to do it. It's not really controversial at all. Might have worded that incorrectly. Apologies for that. But after it happened before, I just got a bit caught up, you know?
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it was a very action-packed race. I suspect, to be honest, I think that result's going to be very different after the DC's had a look through, because I think there's going to be a lot of protests, to be honest. And I expect the forum to be very salty after this, so I think we're going to need to spam the kitten photos for a bit to balance that out.
Yeah, lots of kittens in the forum.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Oh, wow. Yes, so everyone's got their own favourite people and things that happened and stuff, and it's all been good. Do you know what else is going to be good? The interviews, which we're going to start now, and we are going to begin by dragging in 3 people who did really well this race, and we're going to start with Johan Lindberg.
Hello.
Microphone
Hello,
muted.
Johan. So great to have you with me. You got a very good
Microphone
podium in race 1 for YTF1, or a good result. And there is, well, a podium is a good result, isn't it? So, great job by you, Johan, proving to us once and for all why you don't mess with Johan. Just talk us through your race.
I had a good start, but I couldn't gain any positions. But I had a good position for the straight after Eau Rouge, and I made a pass there. And all of a sudden, JJ was in the gravel, and I could move up another position. And then it was just to keep it simple and get the car to the goal.
Yeah, well, you did get the car to the goal. You did a very good job, a fantastic job of it. You got yourself that good result. That's going to help YTF1 in what has been a very good 2016 for the team. Obviously, you driving for them has obviously helped that in this sense. But obviously, the goal will be to keep it up.
Yes, finally I have some luck. I have had some good pace all through the year, but I have made some smaller mistakes by myself, and I have had a lot of bad luck also, like in the second race tonight, where I lost a lot of positions. But that's racing, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes things can happen,
User was
unfortunately,
moved to
and
your channel.
in this case, you know, you might not have had the best race team in the world, but you know, race 1 was good, and hopefully you'll be able to continue the season. Well done, Johan, on your fantastic race, and well, we are going to move on now to who I like to call the Swiss Superman himself. We are going to move on to a certain Mr. David Yunt.
Hello.
Hello, David. It's great to have you with us as well. We are doing a couple more interviews than usual today, by the way. So we are going to get like 5 or so people interviewed. David, you are the second, and great racing from you as well. I had you tip the race win too, mind, and you did pretty darn well.
I heard about being picked for race win when Chris Pratt told me before the start that I would that I was going to be picked. I was like, oh god, no. But considering the practice I did for this race, not much, and tinkering around with some other stuff, I'm quite okay with P12 in what was it, P11? I think it was P11 in race 1. I'm quite delighted with that. Just steady race through or past some other people and picking up positions, getting the points, and my teammate getting a second place. This was very wonderful to see. And in second race, trying my best again, passing people I could, then staying second for some time. Knew exactly that I wouldn't be able to keep Stefan and JJ at bay, and just let them pass before something happened. And after that, I was just a bit upset that I made a mistake and let Michael pass me and get 4th from me, but I'm quite happy with 5th as well, so good points haul for the team.
Yeah, great points from Basilea. Hoping to make your season even better still, and hopefully we'll see even more Race 2 brilliance from you, David.
I hope. I'm not quite sure because this is Max's car, and I'm still debating whether or not he's coming back. He's currently on holidays, and let's see what
That
happens
explains
next
where
race.
he's gone then. Well,
Okay.
maybe we will see. Maybe we will see him back. Nonetheless, great reason for you, David. And now we're going to move on to someone who's had really good success in race 2 today, Mr. Mitchell de Jong.
Hello.
So you had a great race 2, didn't you? I mean, race 1 might not have been as good in comparison, but race 2, you actually led a Formula Challenge race this season, which is always a good thing, isn't it? And a second place in the end. Or a third place, which, well, he was second. Then he let James Johnson through it in the third, which, you know, fair enough. People do that, but third's still great.
Yeah, it was all right. I really was hoping I could hold off Stefan and James, but Stefan was just a bit too quick, and I didn't really have a good exit out of turn 1. So I'm happy with the podium, though. I didn't get to practice too much for this race.
Yeah, well, sometimes when you're doing a practice, it's not easy, is it? Because you don't quite know the track as well as some other people. But nonetheless, a very good result, and that's a lot of points for Mad Cape this race as well, which is really going to help your team's title challenge. You are the leaders coming into this race. You'll probably lead again coming out of it. So after the summer break, goal has to be keep on chugging.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really just here to try to score as many points for the team as I can and to help James get championship. Because yeah, that's my main goal in the series, really. And I really hope to win one race this season. So hoping for another reverse grid lock again some other round.
I'm sure with a display like that, you'll be able to. Well done, Michelle, on your second in race 2. And we are now going to move on to our race winners. And we're going to start with the race winner of race 1, Mr. James Johnson.
That race 1, I don't know what happened.
Wow. You won. That's what happened.
I didn't win it.
You didn't win it.
No.
You didn't
I finished
win it.
5th.
You were 5th. Oh my God, I'm completely
Remember,
confused.
I spun on the curve that I've never spun on before.
Did you win race 2?
No.
What? Where did you finish? I've forgotten. I'm an idiot. Please remind us.
I finished 2nd, although Young didn't have to let me through.
Well,
but...
2nd in race 2 and 5th in, well, yeah, you're 2nd. That'll do. Fair enough. James Johnson, 2nd in race 2. Well done. And he did well in race 1 as well after they recovered from that spin. Tell us what happened. I'm out of questions.
Yeah, I guess I changed something on the setup and I didn't put it symmetrically, so went over the curb and car went round.
Yeah, non-symmetrical setups can be difficult to deal with. I know that from experience. But still, a good points haul for that Cape. Going to be, again, a case, as I said, with Mitchell, obviously, after the summer break, just got to keep on going.
Yeah, just got to keep scoring points. But yeah, no, got to stop cutting. I've got to cut those mistakes out. But yeah, race 2, I got massively screwed over. And then Stefan got past me because of it. And that was that, really.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen. You can make mistakes and things like that happen, and Stefan can get through because Stefan is brilliant, and we're going to come to Stefan in a bit. But in fact, when I say a bit, I mean now, because well done, James Johnson, great racing. We are now going to talk to Mr. Stefan Rowe, actual legit winner of race 2. We're talking to a race winner.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah. Race 1, I won. Yeah, it wasn't James at all.
Yeah, it wasn't James. Whoops, sorry about that. But yeah, you won race 2. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, man. No, it was race 1 was a nice fight with James. I had in the first few laps. Sad to see him spin because I was really enjoying the fight. And then Mike was really pushing me in second. He just had great pace, so that was great. Kept the pressure on, kept me focused, so that's good.
And I'll tell you this, that means you've now taken 3 or 4 race wins in a row now. You're 2 from Hungary, and now you're 2 from here, puts you on 4. That equals James Johnson's best streak. Hopefully the little goal will be continue it and perhaps break a record set by Peter Burlack.
Oh, who knows? I'm going for it. No, but James is still 63 points ahead or something like that, so it's still such a big gap. I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing right now, which is enjoying every race and enjoying the fights with James, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, indeed. And hopefully you will be able to enjoy that because, well, there's the whole rest of the season left to go now, and, well, we do have one more person to interview, and
User
it is
was
going to
moved
be,
to your
by
channel.
absolutely no means least, the hero of Race 2, Michael Bernard.
How's it going, Josh?
It's going brilliantly to see you
Well done,
finish
buddy.
fourth. It's feeling brilliant to see you finish fourth in Race 2. Absolutely stunning drive.
Thank you so much, man. I can't thank enough for Stefan and Baltic Racing just in general, man. That was one hell of a ride. I enjoyed every bit of that. I mean, the bad luck that I've had the past few races, I was glad to kind of get it out of the way and start up front. And it kind of scared me there for a second because I already had one of those poles in race 2 over at Montreal, and then that was just a complete crapshoot, I guess you can say. It wasn't pretty at all. But I'm glad to get this one on my belt. Just wish I can get that podium, but I'll take a top 4 top 5 any day.
Well, it was a great show of defensive driving. You did lead that first lap as well, and you really held off the likes of Mitchell de Jong and David Young and all these top drivers. You have shown today, Michael, that you can stick it with the big boys when it comes to race 2 and defensive driving. And I would certainly hope we'll see more of that from you this season because it gave me a lot to talk about.
Well, I'm glad I did. Yeah, I'll be definitely sticking around for the rest of the season. Me and Marius have already talked a little bit. It looks like I'll be going the rest of the season. So I guess you'll be seeing hopefully a little bit more of me up in the top 10, top 5 area, hopefully here soon.
Yeah, I hope I will too. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael, and for everyone who's been interviewed today. It's obviously been a pleasure having this jumbo interview section, hasn't it, Hinssy?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a very good to end off with a nice comprehensive interview session, almost, I would say. No, it's been very good, very good. And yes, well done to you all for your results and racing. It was certainly very interesting as we were discussing, Josh. Very, very fascinating racing. And yeah, I'm debating whether to check the forum or not in the next 5-10 minutes. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Formula Challenge, everyone. What are you going to do? It's just that series, isn't it, where anything can happen. And, well, speaking of anything happening, we have one more Super Cup round tomorrow from Spa and one more Super League round on Thursday from Spa before
User
we break
disconnected
for our
from
summer
your
break.
channel.
And directly after that, we'll be coming back straight into the International Touring Cup, which is back for 2016 with a bang. Broadcasting for that, not quite sorted yet, but definitely in the works. I myself will be hoping to be involved with that in some capacity, regardless of what I end up doing. And we've got the Community Choice Series coming up not long after that as well. I can give you some dates as well if you want to put in your diary. The 22nd of August for the first ITC race and the 25th of August for the first Community Choice race. And on the 30th of August, we've got Open Series and Formula Challenge from Italy, resuming the career ladder. But until that time, I've been Josh Randerson. He's been Thomas Hinss. Our cameraman's been Menno Klont. People have been interviewed. It's been crazy at Spa, but it's been a race. And until next time, after our summer break, it's goodbye from Formula Challenge. Ciao!